Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live hosted by me, Mr. Philly, and we got a great question today. I'll try to see if I can move that without blocking my face, but I don't think it's possible. So, anyway, bear with me, guys. So, for first off and foremost, before we get into today's question, I wanted to say, yeah, I finally shaved my mustache, and I had it for a couple months. I don't know. I feel like I've had it for like 3 months, maybe less than that. I don't know. I just don't pay attention because it feels like a lifetime. I just can't do mustaches that long. They just get too itchy for me. So yeah, I went back to I'm gonna try to just see if I can go get away with stubble. I need to get not a razor, like one of those hair cutters or whatever, a blade, to shave just to keep a little stubble. I'm probably gonna have to shave and maintain it every 3 days because, like I said, the reason why I only had a mustache for a while is just because my work really cracked down about wearing fair nets and facial hair nets and everything. So that's why I was shaving. But usually I always do this, and sometimes I do this and keep a little, beard that connects to that. But I think I look better this way. But I just finally broke down and shaved, and yeah, I'm gonna try just to keep a little stubble. Maybe I'll try to do as much clean shaving as I can. This is a little bit. This is gonna have to be shaved in here in 3 days, but like I said, I need to buy a blade or I need to get one of my mom or sister's hair cutting blade so I can just keep the stubble down to a bare minimum level. So I'm gonna try to keep it clean shaven for a little while and see where that goes. And yeah, try to get a new look. It's really nice actually. Every place that I went, when I had a mustache for the longest time, a lot of people did not recognize me. It was kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of fun. But like I said, having a mustache just really it just drives me nuts. I can't do mustaches. I do. I did one for a couple months, 2 or 3 months, but they're just too itchy for me. That's the only reason why I just don't think I look good with a mustache. I think the way I am now, I look good, but then sometimes when I'm connecting this way too, I look better. I like that. I like to have that. I think that's just my better look. Just my opinion personally, but hey, everybody has a different opinion. Everybody at work thought I rocked the mustache really well. So I don't know. I don't think I rocked the mustache that well, but anyway. All right, well, come on in with the comments. Everybody's welcome. Call on in and join. All right, hello. How you doing, Ringmaster Kane? How are ya? Hello, Jen. Hello, how are ya? Hello, Delacar. How are ya? Hello, Maddie Dragons. How are ya? Sophia. How are ya? So anyway, all right. So let's just jump into today's question after enough with rambling. So, what franchise should we bring back? This is a really fun question because I'm sure all you guys get lost in TikTok and those or YouTube shorts where they say things that we should bring back from the '90s or whatever. And there's so many different things that are so cool, or even things like oh, thank you. It's a hoodie, but I usually wear a hoodie all the time just because the AC is always blasting in my house. Even in the summer, I wear one in my house just because I'm very thin, so I get cold very much more often. So that's why I'm always wearing one. What is crap? I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, so yeah, I'm always I know my friend who's a lot more overweight. Even in the wintertime, they always have their AC blasting. So yeah, I was like, I just don't have enough weight on me. So yeah, I'm like 170. I'm a buck 175, give or take. So anyway, hello, Arts. Arts, how are you? Anyway, so yeah, that's why I'm always wearing a hoodie or something, even in my house, because the AC's blasting. So, hello, how are ya? So anyway, let's get into the question today. This is a really fun question because, like I said, I'm sure all you guys get lost in those YouTube and TikTok shorts. Oh, thank you so much, Sophia. I really appreciate it. And oh, thank you so much, Rebecca. I appreciate it. But yeah, there's things in the 90s that they should bring back, or just things from the past, things from the 80s. They always mention things from the 90s and 80s, but like I'm sure there's things back even earlier than that that you guys would love to bring back too. But name any franchise that you think you should come back, that should just make a comeback because it was just a great franchise. All right, personally, me, before I let you give you guys the floor, the two things that I would think love to come back is Blockbuster. Blockbuster was just a big nostalgic thing in my childhood, and I love the experience, and the smell and the logos. Oh man, just everything about it. Just talking to the manager about what a great movie this was, and recommendations and looking up a movie. I think it was just the experience. Everybody back in the day, we took it for granted that we got lazy, like going there and renting, and then instead of going to see a movie, a lot of people I'm sure there's some people prefer to going to see a movie than going and renting one and then coming back. But it was a cheap option, and it was just 99 cents a movie for a while. And anyway, Redbox. Oh, that's very interesting. Yeah, I used to think that actually existed still, but yeah, apparently that's gone too. Redbox was a good. Redbox was very handy. I agree with that. Yeah, that is one of them. But mine is Blockbuster. Blockbuster is the next best thing. So yes, and there is one in existence. There was one in Alaska for the longest time, and then they finally closed down. But there's one in Oregon, and they refused to close down just because of the nostalgia. So I hope to God it stays open for a little while. I hope it stays open for another 20 years, just because I want to go there. One of these days, we're gonna go to Bend, Oregon, just to experience that. That's gonna be great. Oh, thank you very much, JB. How are you? Yeah, just the experience, renting movies. We used to take it for granted back in the day because we had it for so many years, but now it's just like, man, I wish I had that opportunity again. And anyway, oh, that depends. Oh, really? You have a question? Uh-oh. I may or may not have an answer. But anyway, my second thing that I would love to bring back is I know buffets are actually dying out now, as people probably can see because, food costs are so high. I don't even know how Chinese buffets are going to make it in the next 10 years, they say. And then, like, just buffets in general. But, there was a place me and my family used to go to every weekend. That was kind of a family thing after church we used to go to. We used to go to Old Country Buffet, very similar to Golden Corral if you haven't heard of it. More popular in the East Coast. But anyway. And oh, I don't know. That might have been one of my. I apologize. That does happen sometimes. I apologize. It might have been. It probably was one of my. What do you call it? Um, Moderators that did it. Maybe sometimes what happens is. No, sometimes what happens is like sometimes moderators come on really quick and they may see something that take it rude. They read it incorrectly, and that does happen sometimes. So that's probably why they put you in a timeout. I apologize. I don't always do it. Or maybe sometimes, maybe I was trying to delete somebody else, and big fingers, and I pushed on you accidentally and try instead of putting somebody else in a timeout. So that's possible too. So yeah, I apologize. I didn't think you were, but yeah, so that does happen. So to answer your question, it might have been me accidentally. Maybe you were right next to somebody that I was trying to put in timeout, or maybe my moderators misread your text message and took it as rude or very offensive, and they put you on a timeout. That's all I can say. So sorry, it happens. Anyway, well, you're back now. So anyway, if I really thought you were rude or anybody, and I would tell you, right away, if I feel like you're a really unkind or just a very inappropriate YouTuber, or I just feel like, I don't really want you on my channel, I'll tell you, look, I'm about to block you and you're never going to watch me again. That's it, Oh, I don't know. You're on now, so obviously it's done. Well, you're back on now, so I mean, I really don't know how long it was. Usually they do a 24-hour. Usually I do 24 hours. Just depends. But yeah. Because people who are trolls usually aren't that committed. So yeah, they're not going to come back the next day. So yeah. Scream franchise. Well, we already have another one out. You're talking about movies. I'm not necessarily talking about movies, but I'm talking about just franchises. Like I'm talking about In-N-Out Burger or something, which I think is still around. And Old Country Buffet. So yeah, getting back to it, Old Country Buffet, just a great place, great food. Their roast beef, their mac and cheese was dope. Their spaghetti was fire. And I just really loved that experience that we had as a family going to Old Country Buffet every weekend. And I'm really sad. I remember they were actually on an episode of Undercover Boss too, but they were not a bad company. But I remember now they're shrinking. I don't even think there's one in existence. But there are sister franchises. There was Coyote Canyon, that exists in the Midwest, and that was here for like a long time. But when we first moved here, and actually I kind of like that better because they had good steak. And then they have another one, Ryan's too, which was pretty good. But yeah, Ryan's. I don't. That Ryan's still might exist though. I think that's in this state, Missouri, but I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to do a little more research. But yes, buffet. Buffets wise, I don't like buffets as much as I used to, but I always have an appreciation for the place that I used to go to as a child. It was just part of my childhood. Old Country Buffet, Ryan's, great buffets, and it was just a great family experience. But I know we're living in different times right now, so hey, that would be a place I'd still frequent though. I'm not gonna lie. Just for the nostalgia, and just because I love their mac and cheese and their pasta and their steak was amazing too. But yeah, they do had sister restaurants too. And when we first moved out here in the when we first moved out to the Midwest in the early 2000s, we used to go to Coyote Canyon, and I think there's still one in existence actually, not in the state, but I think it's in Kansas. But that was another good place, very similar to Old Country Buffet. It was just a lot of fun. So anyway, all right, guys, the floor is yours. So what should they bring back? So I'm hearing a lot of Scream. I'm hearing a lot of Scream. That's a movie franchise. I'm not necessarily a movie franchise. Okay, that's fine. I'm more looking like food franchises. It was really interesting the other day. I was looking at 1980s franchises that are gone and no longer in existence, and I actually remember hearing about them too. So yeah, name something like that actually. I don't know why people keep saying Scream franchise, because Scream, they're making another Scream, so I don't know. I mean, I'm lost. I saw parts of the first one, that's it. I never got into that franchise. So hey, if it's good, let me know. I mean, I heard the first one was good, but it probably always is the first one, but that's it. I don't know. Michael Jackson, I do like his. He was a great. He was a very talented man, and I do like his music. And it would be nice to see if he was still alive today, what kind of music he would still produce. So yeah. I mean, I will agree, and I did. Like I said, one of my last lives, Michael was a really good movie. His cousin or his nephew did a really good job playing him. So yes, I think that's definitely worth a watch. Anyway. All right, guys. 1980s Bulls. I don't know. That's a team, isn't it? A basketball team, I'm assuming. I don't know. You guys kind of got me lost. So yeah, what franchise should we bring back? From the 90s, from the 80s, restaurants, just stores. You got Radio Shack, Ames. I think Ames is actually making a comeback, though, supposedly. Circuit City, I don't know. Stranger Things. Well, that's done. Stranger Things. I never watched that series either, but I heard it was good in the first couple of seasons. But I think the last season got too political. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know. But that's what I heard. One of these days I might watch that franchise. Blockbuster, yes, there we go. Yes, and that was one of mine too, of course. Blockbuster, yes. Blockbuster should always make a comeback. And one other person said Redbox, and I totally forgot that they not even exist anymore. But yeah, I guess streaming services really beat out everybody. And you know, it was interesting. There was another place, you know, where I live in the Midwest. Actually, it was called Family Video, and that was actually the Blockbuster of the Midwest, and that actually lasted longer, and that was still alive actually, even after Blockbuster and Hollywood Video and all of them closed. But like in 2020, COVID actually killed them, and it was really sad. I remember still in the 2019, 2018, you know, I did still rent movies actually too. So you know, it was really nice to actually still have that experience. And I always asked them, how do you guys stay in business? You know, they said price. It was kind of cool. Okay. Nice to meet you. You do you, bro. Well, at least it was just water, not beer or milk or soda or something. That happens. I know the feeling. Elite, I really appreciate it. You're on my live a lot, though. You know, I never looked at your channel. I'm actually curious, though, what you do exactly, though. I don't know if you post a lot or just watch a lot of things. But I do appreciate the watch time you give me. Oh, man, that glare is so annoying. Just trying to look under. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, I appreciate your. Oh, okay, that's cool. Well, thank you for being an avid follower and a regular religious follower. Hello, Misha. I've seen you before. You look familiar. Your name looks familiar. I do remember names, but some days I don't. You know, sometimes the messages run all together. But yeah, there's sometimes when messages and people's names just stand out. I don't know why. Hello, Jennifer Cook. Oh, thanks for the talk the other night. Nice to see you again. How are you? Were you the one that asked me that question? You know, is it weird that I'm 42 years old and I don't have a job right now? Or maybe it was somebody else that said that. That's great. Might have been somebody else, though. I said, I don't know. Is it weird I'm 37 and I still live in my house? I still live in my mom's house? Okay, no, not you. Well, I mean, and honestly, and I would want to say this, you know, just to set the record straight. I mean, the only reason I'm here now is because, and trust me, I don't want to be. I have a job and everything. I could afford my own apartment, but this is literally in this day in America, the only way to save money to buy a house now is to live with your parents for a little bit. So that's where I'm at. Okay, okay. My favorite TV show, I mentioned that before. The Sopranos would always be my favorite. That was number one, and then I'd say the top five. That would be Breaking Bad, and the second one would be Walking Dead, and then Breaking Bad is up there. I'm trying to figure out what else. I Love Lucy and The King of Queens. There we go. Oh, you live on the East Coast? I'm from the East Coast. You know, I think my name gives it away. Hello. Oh, somebody else said hello. Cece's Pizza. Oh, we actually have one in my state. You from Jersey? I was in Jersey 2 weeks ago. Where were you? I was in Wildwood, New Jersey. Did you not see my live and did you not see my post about him? That's so cool. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Wow. You ever been to Wildwood then, Jennifer? I'm assuming you probably heard of it at least, right? Oh, Borders. We actually have a Borders here in my town, believe it or not. No, not Borders. Barnes and Nobles. That was a good one. I do remember a Borders, though, where I used to live, though. That was cool. I love books too. Yeah, I mean it's nice to actually go and buy a book too, and instead of ordering and waiting for it, you know. Have you ever been to Atlantic City or Cape May or Wildwood though? Baptist. Oh, I didn't mean to talk about your religion. I'm Catholic, so that's cool. Yeah. Sears. My dad misses Sears, that's for sure. My father. I live in Missouri right now. Missouri. I'm from Philadelphia originally. I've never even heard of those movie shows. I'll have to look them up. Hello from Egypt. How are you? I don't know. You'd have to ask that girl that sells them online. Blockbuster, Radio Shack, Hollywood Video. Oh, I like your style, dear GGAF. Oh my goodness. Now you speak my language. Blockbuster's one of them. We used to, in my place in the Midwest, I was actually still renting movies at Family Video. We had a place called Family Video. But you know what's sad is COVID killed them. They were going to stay in business too. That is correct. Blockbuster, oh yeah, nostalgic place. Oh man, I am gonna go visit Bend, Oregon, where the last one still exists one of these days, and share it with you guys because I just cannot wait. It's gonna be like I'd rather take Blockbuster over Disneyland any day. I tell you. Malls, that's another one that's good too. Well, we still have movies, but you know, movies are. I mean, people are predicting that they're going to be oblique in like 10 years or whatever. Now it's just like every movie place you go to, they have to sell food just in order to keep their products going, and you know, just to keep their costs up. You know, it's like AMC dining is really taking over the movie genre, and I do like going to the movies too. Firefly. I'm not sure what that is, but yeah. I don't know what that means. Firefly. Back in the day, we had malls. Back in the day, we had actual theaters. Back in the day, we had Blockbuster. Back in the day, we had Radio Shack, Circuit City, all those fun places to go to. Halo was, oh, yeah, that was my game. That was the only game I really ever played back in the day. I was never big into gaming, but I did get into Halo a lot. Halo 2 was my thing. Halo 2 was my jam, I'll tell you. I used to play the crap out of Halo 2. I did get into the franchise a little bit too, yeah. Big Lots. There we go. We have one of those too, actually, close to where I'm at. Betcha. Hmm. Sears, where else? No, you know, years ago I actually started playing the guitar. I learned, you know, the basics of the chords, but like I couldn't do it now. I mean, playing chords really hurt your fingers, honestly. It's a really hard. Oh, my father loves Kmart too. That's where he met my mother. My mom and dad met at a Kmart. My dad worked at a Kmart, and that's where he met my mom. I'll tell you, my dad always said I'd rather go to Kmart than Disneyland. That's probably why he always says that. I learned kind of vaguely, but I never got good at it. But yeah, I know exactly how it works. But you know, the thing about guitar is like if you know certain chords, you know half the songs out there. It's just harder on your fingers though. I don't know. Haven't been there in years. KFC. I love KFC. What? I don't think we can be friends then. KFC is my #1 chicken sandwich. I think the Colonel knew what he was doing when he did that 11 herbs and spices, you know? Tell ya. Everybody needs a little KFC. That was what the commercials I saw in the 90s. You know, everybody needs a little KFC, you know? Chick-fil-A. I think Chick-fil-A, I think they're both. So Popeyes is #1, Chick-fil-A is #2, Popeyes is #3 for me. Oh yeah, I agree 100%. It's not good for you, but it is good. I will agree. Hmm. I used to work at a Popeyes. I know what you're talking about, yeah. Oh yeah, I know where that is. Yeah, what do you know? Yeah, I know where one is. There's one in my state. Yeah, Jack in the Box. I think it exists I'm pretty sure it does. I've never been to Jack in the Box though. Well, thank you. Oh my, let's see. My first real job, let's see. I worked at a oh well, actually, well, I worked at a Sonic, but I only worked there for a summer, so I don't really consider that my first job. Well, I guess I couldn't consider that, but there was one place that I worked. It was a family-owned business, and it was an Irish pub. And man, I kind of brings back memories. My first, I guess I consider that my first real job because I worked there for about 6 months. I was a dishwasher there, and the one reason why I remember it so well is because man, they had the best coffee in town. Honestly, I could, I smell the coffee there, and it just, oh man, I don't even like drinking my coffee black, but it was just that good. Oh man. Coolest boss? Well, let's see. Oh my gosh. Let's see. I worked at a Taco John's, and I think that guy was really cool, actually. But yeah, I don't know what that is. Oh, worst boss? Well, I remember I worked at a grocery store. It was called a Kroger. That's a Midwestern one. And it was a she, man. She was so fucking. Oh my gosh, that brings back bad bad memories. But I did have a boss, yeah. She was really cool. She was cool at first, but like, I think toward the end, it was like kind of like, well, it was like I worked overnight and everything. And Wawa. Oh my goodness, Wawa. Oh man, that's not even a debate. Wawa. I was at Wawa 2 weeks ago. And well, yeah, we had a really bad. My gosh, yeah, that's how my boss was too. But like, well, I worked 10 to 6, and I was working night shift, and man, I could never work night shift ever again. But I think that was making it worse than the fact that caused more stress towards it. But we could never really leave when our shift was over. I mean, like, we couldn't get done what we wanted to get done in an 8.5 hour shift. But we always had to face the store, and then they got pissed off at us. But then they complained about us going over hours, but then they always expect us to stay and face. And then she constantly punished people for leaving when their shift is over. And legally, you can't punish people for leaving when their shift is over. If management is not satisfied with you, what you can or cannot do in an 8.5 hour shift, then then that's their problem. I mean, that's all I can say about it. But like, I mean, this is really bringing back a deep conversation. But she was so flippin' annoying. Like, well, I mean, like, she was I mean, she would constantly gaslight her employers, and her humor wasn't funny. It was just really insulting. And then she had the balls to expect me to stay 3 hours past my shift. You talk to me like I'm some piece of crap, and then you expect me to stay like past 3 hours past my shift? Yeah. And needless to say, yeah, I walked out of there. I mean, that one day, it was just the last straw. I remember walking out, and I really hated to do so because that was actually one of the best paying jobs I had back then. It paid really well. Yeah, but she was so mad when I left, and man, I'm so glad. The only sad regret that I had that I couldn't do it twice because she deserved every bit of it, man. And she talked to her employers like like they were shit. I hated to say it, but she did, and she punished people for leaving when their shift was over. And then she wondered why nobody wanted to work there, and she wondered why people quit every day. She was a horse's. Oh man! All right, this is just really bringing back hitting a nerve. But anyway, oh my gosh, I'd say yeah. I mean, out of every job that I had, I mean, I've known people that worked for worse people, but like, yeah, I was probably one of the worst bosses that I had. I mean, she would constantly gaslight her employers. Oh my gosh, man, it was just her personality that was annoying. But at first, she was actually pretty good. But man, she just turned into an idiot. And then she wondered why people quit every day. Sounds like further swing. Oh man, I got back at this person though. Trust me, man. I literally walked out, and I walked out on a night when we had a 2,000-piece truck to unload. I made sure it was a busy night. That was it. Oh man, she was so mad. Oh man, and the next time I saw her, I made sure to give her the. Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna use any more profanity. I know, right? Oh, I wish she was. Oh, she's probably really. Honestly, though, she was like in her 60s. She was like in her 60s at the time, and this was like 15 years ago. She's probably. She might not even be alive anymore. I don't know. She's probably in her 80s now, but yeah. Take a dab. What are you talking about? That's true. Yeah, I don't know. Well, and that was the other thing too. Not being a badass. People ask me about my worst job that I ever had. Well, it wasn't a bad job. It was just the management, just the manager that I had turned into a major league a-hole, and I was so mad. And I really hated to leave the job too, But if somebody treats me like crap, then yeah, I can't take it anymore. If somebody sits there and makes fun of me all the time and thinks it's funny, and then picking on somebody's picking on somebody, and teasing somebody's teasing somebody. But when somebody constantly makes sexually inappropriate jokes about me, and then actually talks about it really loudly and spreads rumors about me, which is what she did, that's what pissed me off. I should have told them. I literally should, but I was a pushover back in the day. I was a real pushover. I was such a pushover back in the day. Like I was the type of guy when somebody called me a name, I would go back in the room and cry actually. And in some sense I still am, and I've never been this honest before, but trust me, that person that Mr. Philly that you knew back in the day is way dead, I think it was just because of the way I was raised, honestly, but yeah. I used to be a real diehard pushover, but trust me, that person is dead. I was 22, 23. Yeah, I was really young. Oh, yeah. Well, I still can be a pushover in some sense, but like, I mean, like sometimes, and then sometimes in my life now, and I used to be surrounded by a lot of toxic people in my life too. I used to have a lot of toxic relationships, and a lot of people I was at one point surrounded by people in my life that told me that nobody would ever love me. And for a sad thing is, for a while I used to believe it too. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I used to. And there's a lot of dark spots in my life, but I wasn't a good person either. I was a former drug user too at the time, and I was also not a good person too. But I don't think nobody really deserves to be told they're worthless. Oh yeah, did it to everybody. Although, however, I will say we had a lot of crappy workers, but like we did, it was hard to keep good work. It's night shift, but like, I mean, I feel like the way people treating people does make a difference, and I feel like her treating the way people that she did was part of the reason why people didn't really last very long. You'll have a good boss. Don't worry about it. Just hey, you learn pretty quick, and I'm a lot different now. You just really gotta I learned, when I start new jobs and when I start part-time jobs or whatever, just observe, observe people and observe how other people are around about them. People are going to tell you right away, this person's an a-hole, this person's nice, this person's that. But, just calm, I've noticed this is how you figure it out, really. Figure out the people that you tread lightly around, or figure out the people that are not going to watch out for you, and figure out the people that are going to be a-holes to you. Just take it back and then talk to them and question them, and then understand how they talk and understand what they like and understand what they don't like. That's how you figure out. And I figured that out really quick at a lot of jobs that I go to. All right, well, that person's a tattletale. That person's a rumor spreader. That person's this. So, yeah, I mean, you figure it out really quick. You got to observe. Oh, my goodness. I don't do that shit no more. I was like, most of them, I worked with people like that, but most of them didn't last because they were worthless and they were lazy. Those types of people are lazy. I hate milk. I don't know how to answer that question because I don't drink milk. I think milk is gross straight. Oh, look at this live. This live took a different turn. We were talking about bringing franchises back to my worst job in my life, and one of the one of the most depleting parts of my life. Hmm. One of the more challenging times of my life, I should say. Wow, this live took a different turn. I never usually get this open, but yeah. I appreciate you guys. Hey, I mean, I don't mind being open with you guys. Tell Uncle Sam that question. Don't tell me. That's what. That's a question for Uncle Sam. Don't ask me that question. That's why. Oh, I would say no. I was like, I usually, I had that a couple of times, but people learn pretty quickly with me. But like, I usually just park my car if I get to that point. I park my car in a place where people couldn't see it, or I would actually just say, "Look, I don't have enough gas to get you home." That's what you say. Yeah, you kind of have to lie sometimes if somebody's really just starting to use you. Yeah, I just kind of play that. Yeah, I play that game. There's ways that I've learned how to override that a lot. Just park your car in another area where people can't see it, or you can just say like, yeah, I'm literally on E. The only gas I can only make, I only have enough gas to get home. I can't, give you rides. That's what I would just tell them like, hey, I don't have enough gas to get you home. Like, it depends on where you live. I only have enough gas to get me home. I'll just tell her that's none of your business. No, tell her none of your fucking. Let's tell her none of your damn business. No, I'm not gonna show you the inside of my car. No. Or you can just say no. I mean, there's a thing called being no. No, I'm not going to keep giving people gas money. I'm broke. I'm poor. I'm struggling just like you. I can't keep giving people gas money who don't give me money back. That's it. Period. Just tell them the truth. Look, man, I keep giving people rides home. They have no gas money for me. I can't do it anymore. I'm done. That's what I would do. Yeah, exactly. And I used to be that person too, and I still am sometimes to an extent. But I'm the type of person to take it a little bit, but then I just put things on the line. Like, dude, like I've given like several people rides home. None of them ever give me gas money. I'm done. I'm done giving people rides home. That's it. I'm done. You want to ride home? Get a damn Uber. Call somebody. I was like, I can't, just keep giving free rides away to people. That's it. I mean, I'm losing gas money over this. I'm poor. I'm struggling just like you. I just tell them the truth. That one too. I never had one of those, but yeah. Well, DGAF, I think you actually started a really fun conversation with this one. Hello, Prime. How are you? Nice to meet you. We went from talking about our favorite franchises to, talking about one of my worst jobs that I ever had. One of the worst managers that I ever had. I know there's way worse managers, but yeah. We're talking about bitching about our jobs and everything. Later. I would eventually just go to management, yeah. Oh, thank you so much, DGAF. I appreciate it. Thanks, Travis. Travis, nice to meet you. No, Travis, nice to meet you. Say what? Occupy. Really? I can imagine a lot of people moving out of Cali. I know a few friends from Cali people that are YouTubers that I'm friends with that follow me. Where are you moving to, if I may ask? Are you moving? I knew a friend that worked at Amazon too. Talking about what franchise should we bring back? I can imagine. I don't know how anybody lives in California. I really don't, honestly. Anyway. If you make minimum wage, that you're starving, I heard. That's awesome. Okay, I'll see you soon then. Nashville, Tennessee. Tennessee. I love to go there to actually see the birthplace of Elvis. I'm assuming that's where he's born. My brother goes to a certain place in Tennessee, I think. He says it's pretty. Hello, Tanner. How are you? Nice to meet you. I appreciate the conversation that we're having today. I really like it. Oh. Oh, not woke. Wow, I can take it you're conservative. That's awesome. I can imagine, yeah. Wow. Now you speak my language. Although I really do want to visit Los Angeles. I've never been to Los Angeles. I do plan on making a trip to California in the next year or so. I've been to the East Coast so many times, but I really want to go to Oregon, and I do really want to visit California because, I have a friend who's a YouTuber out there too. It'd be really nice to visit, just to visit though. If I've never been there before, would you say it's worth it? I don't know. But just, hey, you got any good places that you got any suggestions of where I should go? I don't know. Spokane, Washington, Never been. Oh, really? I heard that, a big homeless population, I can imagine. That's where my friend lives, Los Angeles, so yeah. I'd love to see Universal Studios, and I would love to see the Hollywood Walk of Fame. That would be kind of cool, and the Hollywood sign, Just those kind of things, but yeah, other than that. And Oregon, too. I really want to visit Oregon. I mean, I see some areas in Oregon that look so pretty, honestly, yeah. Really? I did not know that. Well, it's good to know. Well, thank you for telling me. I heard people tell me to go, but check it out if you've never been there. It's definitely worth a check out if you've never been there, but yeah, never worth living. Mind your P's and Q's. Oh yeah, definitely. If I go out there, I'm definitely gonna have a tour guide, somebody that lives there. I mean, I'm not gonna go by myself. Well, thank you for telling me. That's what I hear, though. And Philadelphia is kind of turning into that way too a little bit. Not as bad, but yeah. I mean, like, I almost got, when I was in Philadelphia 2 weeks ago, I mean, and I wasn't even actually, I took a picture on the opposite side of the street, and these two druggies actually came over and accused me of recording them, and I wasn't actually. I was filming in the opposite direction, and yeah, they kind of grabbed me by the arm and threatened to beat the crap out of me. So yeah, it was a little bit of a shaky. And then I told there was a cop actually down the street, and he just told me to go take a walk or whatever. So yeah. Oh, so you've been to Kensington? Wow. Well, Kensington is a little different. I feel like the homeless people don't really bother. Well, I guess they could, but like, I think they're too high to really bother people. But like Kensington, I mean, some definitely in some areas in Philly, but like Kensington, it's the fentanyl, man, that really gets to people. I feel like they're just so, I mean, they're just, wow, they're just literally waiting to, drop dead or whatever. That's just gonna, damn, it's just really sad. I was gonna go there, but I was like, I was kind of afraid to. Exactly. A fish? Fishy, fishy. So you've been to Kensington then? Oh. A lot of people too tell me that too. Los Angeles is just so fucked with, or so screwed with homeless and druggies, and it's just ruined. Governor. Thank you, Governor. What's his name? Oh, it's just literally rich and poor there, but yeah. Right, and that's probably where the rich people live, right? I would like to tour, and that's one of the other things too. I'd like to tour Beverly Hills, see all where the rich people live and all the famous people. For sure, definitely. Sarah, how are you? Nice to meet you. Well, GGA, it was really nice meeting you. I appreciate being on my live. No, it's candy. I haven't heard that one before. You mean eye candy or what? That's great. Nice to meet you too. So we went from talking about bringing back our franchise, to me actually kind of bitching about my worst job that I ever had. But people kept asking me what was the worst job that I ever had. So I came into it. But yeah, Coca-Cola without the cola. Oh, are you talking about the original? The original Coca-Cola actually did have cocaine in it. For I don't know about that. It was totally different. It was supposedly used as a medicinal thing, I think, from my understanding. I could be wrong, but you have to do some research. But yeah. I've never been to Miami. I've never been to that side of the East Coast. Hey, you! Finally, you joined. We were wondering where you were. How are you? Joined a good live. We had a really nice conversation tonight. I went from talking about the best franchise we bring back to one of my worst jobs ever that I ever had. But the people made me ask, so And I never got that honest before, but yeah. Well, nice to see you, though, Esther. Likewise. Well, guys, unfortunately, I gotta end the live though because there's a charger right here that I had that's not working very well. I gotta go out to my car and get another one. So that happens sometimes after several months. So like one of my charger stops working. So yeah, I think maybe my port probably needs to be changed, but whatever. I'm sorry, guys, but yeah. All right, well, we'll definitely see you this week, though. Thanks everybody for joining. Esther, I'm sorry you joined so late, but we go back and watch the live. It was really fun. Hope definitely see you soon. So, all right, GGF, it was nice meeting you and everybody else. And Esther, always a pleasure, friend. All right, we'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for the great conversation. All right, no, you're fine. You have a great night. We'll definitely see each other. All right, bye, guys. See ya. You're fine, love. And as always, happy